our listeners. Another episode of Debates Never Die. We are back. Today I'm joined by Tabani, I'm joined by Tobi, I'm joined by Lebone. It's a very Manchester heavy cast, but thankfully it's to celebrate a Manchester City win. It's been done. The triple has been completed. Tabani, how are you feeling? Pep versus Alex. Who's the guy? He's done everything that Alex has done at this point. What else is there? How are you feeling, sir?
I'm feeling good and I'm feeling gracious. I'm feeling humble. I'm not here to knock anyone. Shout out Pep. Credit where it's due. I think you don't do what Man City have done um, by luck. So let's credit them for what they did, and like they deserve it for. I think the way they turned the corner throughout the season, like what they've achieved has been coming. Like it's not something that they slapped together in the last couple of games of the season. Like it's been coming. They've been on this role. So shout out to them. Shout out to Pep. Like Pep has gone through a lot. He's gone through a lot, but he's also won a lot and done a lot. So yeah, I credit him. But with that being said, let's now everyone. I just need everyone to chill a bit with the whole Pep's cleared Alex. He hasn't. He hasn't. Different style, different era, but just check the trophy cabinet, check the longevity, check the different eras, check the consistency, check that before you come with your Pep over Alex. But yeah, gracious, and we'll give City credit where it's due. I think they do deserve it because they've got a phenomenal team. Um, not the easiest time to be a United fan right now. But yeah,
Okay. A measured approach. Bones, we haven't had you in a while. So how are you feeling?
I'm okay. I'm okay. Like Tabani, I got to give credit where it's due. Yeah, they've consistently been very good this season, and over the last few years, they've definitely always had an argument for best team in the world. And yeah, I mean, you could say as Tabani alluded to that, it's been coming. It's been coming. It didn't come out of nowhere. So yeah, it is what it is. It's an amazing achievement. You know, not many teams get to do it. So yeah, it is what it is, man. Shout out to them.
I love how deflated you sound. Like you just can't believe it. It's just actually not even like you can't believe it. Like you really have just accepted it. It's just flat. It is what it is. That's good. That's good, Bones. No, thank you for that. Last but not least, Toby, sir,
Yeah.
how have you made sense of this, mate? Since you have matched your boys, or you're gonna still tell us that United's treble was better? Where do you stand?
First of all, nah, it's just an honor. I guess both clubs in Manchester, treble winners. I don't think many people can say that. Arsenal definitely can't. So I think it's I'm the way I feel right now is I'm actually excited to see what the boys are gonna bring through because you saw people like Brandon Williams on Instagram angry. I think there's gonna be a fire burning within their souls this next season. I think they're gonna be wanting to do something, and who even knows? Maybe we can win another treble next season. So I'm just saying, let's be happy. Let's see what happens. But shout out Pep, shout out Mario, shout out Phil Foden. He's doing a lot right now. How many prims does he have? Like four,
Five.
five prims, one Champions. Anyways, we're not gonna get into that. But yeah, shout out those guys, man. Shout out Calvin Phillips, Kanye's friend as well. Man,
You guys heard it here first. Brandon Williams is going to fire Manchester United to a treble next season. That's Toby's summary of what's happened here. Truly lovely stuff. Personally,
but
I
but
think
LLM,
yes.
we just I mean, I think from our point of view, we want to know how you feeling, man. Like
Yeah.
trophyless season, like nothing in Europe achieved, no trophy, second place. How are you doing, man?
put on the pressure trophy.
Mate, I'm healthy. I'm healthy. The important thing is, my team didn't lose a final like a few weeks ago. I got to make peace with my team's L like about almost a month ago, 2 months ago even. After we lost the city, it
Okay.
kind of started. I've done a lot of healing. The end of the season has like allowed me to get to grips with my own reality. Saliba's going to extend his contract. That was looking shaky.
How many
Saka's extended since. And I'm looking around. I'm just like, looks like Rice is coming. I'm like, I'm pretty good, man. I'm pretty good.
Wait, Kanye, how much you coming for? Did he sign for? Sorry, Saliba.
4 years, sir. 4 years.
Okay, so after 2, he's going to Madrid or something like that, right?
Oh,
They use it to get
no.
Mbappe. They use
Oh
the
no,
money to get
bro,
Mbappe.
like 4 years
Oh,
isn't that long. That's what's killing me.
Hey man. If Saliba leaves, that's 100M for a centre back. I don't know about you boys. You guys still want another one. Kim Min Jae coming after you spend 60 on Varane, 60 on Lissandro. You guys buy in the same position every. You don't want to do this thing. Arsenal, we on the way up. You guys still don't know. You're still talking about De Gea might be the keeper next year. That's crazy, bro. Let's not do this. Trust me. I'd rather be an Arsenal United fan right now. No matter what you guys say.
Nah, it's good for you.
Yeah.
Bias aside.
But on a serious note, lads, we now know Pep can do it without Messi. He's done it with Grealish. He's found a way, right? Somehow, some way, his 100M signing has come good. His plethora of millions, it's finally resulted in the big one.
Yeah.
What next for Pep? I've seen something that suggests that maybe after this contract ends, he's out. What do we think he does? Does he go to Spain? Does he what else do you do when this is what you've done as a coach?
I think that I think he's got European domination on his mind, man. As much as they've kind of achieved it, I heard Jamie Carragher saying that it's all about the first one. Just like when he won his first Premier League, he kind of set his sights on dominating English football, and he did that, and he swept up all the domestic trophies. What is it, 5 in 6 years, 5 Premiers in 6 years? I think with the knowledge that he's probably going to dip, he said he wants to dip after 2 years now at the end of his contract. I think he wants to get at least one more Champions League, and getting another Champions League means you'll have to have a team that's probably good enough to win another Premier League. So I think maybe not another treble, but a double with a Prem and a UCL is definitely in his sights. Like, these guys are not getting weaker. I genuinely think the only thing that could stop him, like Pep, winning one of the next 2 UCL is just letting the wrong people go at the wrong time. That's it. But other than that, I think he's got European domination on his mind, man.
Wow, that's very true.
Okay. So we think he's going to try retain.
But yep. Who's going to stop them? Like, who's on their level right now?
I mean,
I'm not going to lie. Arsenal, probably the closest.
Not in Europe.
Oh, what, really?
I don't think Arsenal are going to give them a run. They could barely give them a run, or not. They gave them a run in points in the league, but head to head, they're not going to beat Man City and knock them out the Champions League.
But they don't need. Okay, UCL, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying who's on City's level right now in terms of a team that's capable of competing for 4 trophies next season.
I mean, does any team need to compete with them directly in that sense? City have kind of beaten themselves in the past few years. The first time they didn't just stumble. There's no guarantee that they'll maintain this. They're saying Gundogan might be leaving. They have to replace him with somebody. I've seen Bernardo being linked to a PSG move. Like, City have to kind of, get more pieces together. I don't know who they look towards to suddenly, galvanize again. I don't know where to go from here, actually.
Kovacic coming in for Gundo, I don't think there'll be that much of a difference in terms of.
I think there's a big difference between those two players.
Consistency and the way they can get Kovacic playing. I think, like, the drop-off wouldn't be immense is what I'm trying to say. Like, it won't be a big drop-off. I might be wrong, but that's just how I see it. But now I think it's like, okay, now we're in a situation where who are you going to find that's very similar to this guy? And that's going to be able to, I guess, play that role that he's played most of this season. That's going to be a very, very difficult one for them to find. I don't know whether they're going to push Foden, but that's what I'm thinking is going to be quite difficult, mate.
I think that, like, the thing with Man City right now is that, okay, we're talking about maybe if they, like I said, if they let the wrong pieces go or aren't able to replace. But, like, be honest with yourself. In the top 5, like the very top clubs in the world, other than Real Madrid and the mystique of Florentino Perez, whose club infrastructure, manager, owner, hierarchy do you back more to get it right than Man City right now? I can't think of a single club that's guaranteed to strengthen. Who? It's Arsenal.
He said Brighton.
Brighton. I thought you meant in terms of, like, building a good squad and, like, replacing players. That's what I'm saying.
No, man, I'm talking about winning stuff, not a few weekend wins every now and then. I'm talking about, like, mounted, like, who's Man City, like Kanye said, will be the only team that can beat them right now in terms of putting together a squad to do it again is themselves. I don't see a Liverpool trajectory in them where they're just not going to sign a midfielder or not sign in a position. Like these guys have the funds, they have the resources, but they have the people in charge who have consistently just made the right decision. So I don't see anyone who can come too close to them in that regard, and that's why I think the drop off they don't have a drop off in their immediate trajectory at least.
Yeah, I agree with that. As far as the immediate trajectory, like next season, I don't think anyone really closes the gap enough for it to feel like.
You mean in the UCL?
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, I mean, yeah, okay. I wouldn't say the league as much because teams are getting better. Maybe some teams are going to wake up like a Chelsea or something. But I don't know. You know, Chelsea are weird. You know, they have that weird MO. They'll be horrible. The next season they're competing again, and then they're horrible, and then they're competing again.
Yep.
It's, you know, they have that weird thing about them. So it's also very hard to always count them out. But as I was saying, and also just thinking of players like Haaland, who this was their first season and they were top scorer in every competition. Like he's only going to get better. He's only going to get more acquainted with the team, the style of play, improve under Pep, become an even more potent goal scorer, maybe even a more all-rounded player. So yeah, it's still looking scary. It's still looking scary.
Just a side note, what you were talking about, Chelsea. Poch won his first trophy this yesterday or something. When was it yesterday? It was Soccer Aid, so who knows? maybe it's the start of something for Chelsea fans out there. Maybe it's the start of something.
Unbelievable perspective there from Tobi. But if we're looking at a world post Pep, does anyone know who City might be going for? Who do you imagine the next guy would be?
There's one oak. I told Tabani the other day, it has to be the Zerbi, mate. There's only one oak I can see that anyone can see. Even that match, after they started hugging and talking, Oaks are like, this might be the passing of the baton. Because Oaks are saying that these two are they're probably one of the best tacticals in the Premier League for me. That's for me, obviously. But I don't know.
100%.
I don't know who else you guys think, but for me, I think that's the guy.
My only thing with the Zerbi is that I am going to come across as a bit of a hater here, but Brighton were very good this year, and De Zerbi does have a good track record in terms of making teams play well. But there is a difference between making Brighton play well and following Pep's legacy at Man City, right? They are not, when you replace Pep, your job is not to maintain the style of play. No, you're going to be inheriting a squad that's now it's going to be about 3-4 years old. He's going to be in charge of turning that over. There's no 20 million signings that are going to take you to the next level. And the expectation is, there needs to be a bit more. I think there needs to be a bit, let's admit, he came into a bit of a pressure-free environment this season at Brighton. After Potter left, I think there was no attention on Brighton in terms of how he was going to do there. Brighton had already been on an upwards trajectory. I think let's see how he does with a bit more adversity before I can co-sign that fully.
Adversity,
yeah, that's what
came through mid-season, bro. Having to
with a squad that was established, very established, mate.
Yeah, okay.
And he had all the time on the training ground. He had, a squad that was ready to learn under him. Let's see how they do in Europe next season. We've seen Europe throw a lot of managers off. If he can, and also it's not like their budget is going to skyrocket. If they can keep making shrewd signings and put something together in Europe, but not let it cost them in the league, then yeah, sure. But I saw one too many slip-ups from Brighton where they were really good one week and then the next week just fell apart for me to say, okay, this guy's destined.
Fair enough. Bones, who's your pick? Are you also saying De Zerbi or you got someone else in mind?
I mean, I think De Zerbi is like the obvious, or not the obvious, but the gut impulse. I don't see anyone else coming in and kind of turning over, especially given the expectations that Pep will have now entrenched into the City culture. Like obviously every time there was an expectation of he needs to win because of the previous managers. So there won't be much patience with the next guy, I don't think. And considering that, then it's very hard to actually just pinpoint one person in particular. And yeah, also to Tabani's point, I don't think I've seen enough from De Zerbi in a like I need a full season. I need a full season in the Prem first to actually see what happens. So yeah, again, I think going to the Champions League now, or not the Champions League, Europa, playing in Europe and just seeing how they adjust, the player rotations, how he's able to adapt to more games in the season. That'll be a better determinant of whether he would be fit for the role. But like, I actually don't have like a clear candidate.
Okay. No, fair. Personally, I'm saying
Zidane?
Nagelsmann.
Nagelsmann.
That's the guy I think is most suited for it. I think
What after he fails at PSG?
Assuming he goes to PSG one, and if he goes to PSG and if PSG sign Bernardo Silva and do what it looks like they're going to do, I don't think Nagelsmann fails in his next job. I think he's gotten that out the way. He has had his reputation besmirched after Bayern shat the bed, sacked Oliver Kahn afterwards, rushed, hired back an alcoholic Tuchel. I think that Nagelsmann's actually he's on his way up. I'd like to think he's also learned some kind of lesson from that, right? Like I think it's interesting that he turned down Chelsea, turned down Spurs. You know, he's not just desperate to work anyway. He's that kind of fine picking where he goes, and I think taking over after Pep, after he goes wherever he goes next, it's what I see for him. That's the guy I'm thinking. Might have it in for him. Also, crucially, something that I think a lot of people like kind of just moved past. Do you guys know Nagelsmann didn't lose a UCL game before he got fired?
Yeah, bro.
Like,
Yeah.
he was
Only conceded to, was it Victoria Pilsen or what? They only conceded. Yeah, they didn't concede against Inter. They didn't concede against Barca.
Yeah. Like I think the season that he was having was really underrated on a European front. Like I'd expected Bayern to win the UCL with Tabani before that change. I thought Tuchel might have pulled it out, but everything kind of.
The more you think of it, the more you think about it, like Khan and Salihamidzic. Yo, I butchered that. But anyways,
that guy.
Khan and Brazo, I'll call him Brazo because that's his nickname. Khan and Brazo, like that was an all-time terrible decision. And like when you read the reports and you read what was behind it, it was just ego. That was it. Had nothing to do with football. Like yes, there was the thing about Bayern aren't consistent enough and we feel like our Bundesliga is under threat. But they made everything worse. Like literally nothing improved when they sacked Nagelsmann. They could have just waited for things to go wrong with Nagelsmann. They sacked the manager because they didn't want things to get worse. And when you think about that, that has never happened ever. No one has ever been sacked because things might go wrong. So yeah, they killed something that, like you said, could have been like they could have pulled the rabbit out the hat. I don't think that Man City get through with such consummate ease if Nagelsmann was in charge, because he would have had a plan. He would have tried something. And yeah, Upamecano, when I find you.
Yo, he's so...
Honestly, what Bayern did this season is like really, really special. If Dortmund hadn't found a way to go even harder than them in terms of bottling it, we'd be speaking about the season very, very differently.
Yeah, that league is a joke. What's his name? Just went to Bayern.
Rafael Guerrero.
Just went to Bayern, and then what's his name? I think the guy from, was it Leipzig? Lima.
Yeah.
Yeah, he also went to Bayern. That's same, man. Come on, guys.
Now, what Dortmund did a few weeks ago, I'm done. I wish nothing but bad things won that club. They don't take themselves seriously enough to get the supportive and neutral anymore. That was ridiculous. It's actually unacceptable. But let's move on from that. The last question I want to ask before we let go of the City treble once and for all: do you guys think the City's best team, or was it just the one that finally did it? Because like player for player, I'm not entirely sure.
Most balanced team, I would
say.
Definitely.
The Centurions, you don't think that they have a chop? I feel like they had a good balance of orthodox defenders there as well.
Otamendi.
Who was rough? Wasn't Delph also playing left back at the time?
Yeah. Let's get those out of here. I agree with Tobi. I agree with T-Boy that it's. But look, there's the on the one hand you're like, okay, it's their most balanced team, but I think it was if you look at the nature of how this team is set up, like it was not it was they were so good, they were just better than everyone in this setup. So it's not a case of like, oh, they were beatable, they just happened to win the match. No, like this, when Pep turned the corner and started playing certain Oaks where he started playing them, they were unplayable, genuinely unplayable, and like to a point where I don't think that you can probably put more talented City lineups in front of me, but now that I've actually watched for a good 5-6 months this exact team, I think it's more about balance. It's more than just balance. I think it's genuinely like a group of 11 Oaks that work so well with one another. But I don't know about the lifespan, because for that thing to work, you need John Stones to be fit and in good form. You need Ruben Diaz to be fit and in good form. You need Akanji to be a fantastic role player. If you lose one of those pieces for a month, 2 months, I don't think it works.
Nah.
So yeah, that's the argument I'll put forward. I'll stay on the side like with Tobi. I think it's their most balanced. I think there are more talented City sides and more exciting ones as well. As much as Haaland grabbed all the headlines with the goals and stuff like that, this City side was different. It was more of a machine than if you want excitement this season, you watched Arsenal at certain points. You watched them for like exciting, beautiful football. This one felt more like
Yeah.
a lot more structured than any Pep team.
Arsenal this season were like 17, not as good as 17, 18, but in terms of excitement, that's what you were looking at. I think when you're watching that City team, you just thought that these guys, will they ever lose a game? It was insane.
How much question for you guys, how much of like this perception of Man City right now, when we're thinking about previous City teams, is down to like the lack of personality? Because there's a lot of talent, like talent in abundance, but there is no Yaya Toure. There is no Sergio Aguero. Yes, they've got Haaland, but like we're kind of used to what De Bruyne has. We know what Bernardo Silva has to offer. But when you look across the rest of the team, there's no one player that you switch your TV on to watch, if you get what I'm saying, or that you wish was at your club to watch them every week. And that plays a role too. So I want to know how much of it has to do with like maybe they are the best, but there's no connection with them.
I mean, I think that helps in terms of the perception of it being balanced, and that there's not many egos fighting, so it doesn't seem as though there's friction within the team. And when there's no friction and you're playing well, it does just have a feel of efficiency, and I think that is something that we saw a lot from City. They were very precise. They were very, everyone knew what they had to be doing at every moment. Everything just looked like extremely coordinated, and I think a lot of that does come from everyone checking their egos at the door, and not being too assertive in their personality type. I mean, I think that's also why someone like De Bruyne isn't captain, because he doesn't bring the kind of calmness and subtlety that a Gundogan has. So yeah, I think the fact that there's not many big characters in the team does kind of add to the perception that it's very balanced. And I would agree that it's possible that I've seen more balanced, I've seen more talented lineups, but I can't really fight with how like thorough and devastating these guys are.
No, very, very well put, Bones. Very well put. And thank you for mentioning De Bruyne, because I almost forgot to say, I am not going to be tricked. That's not top 10 midfielders of all time. I don't care. I don't care about his injuries. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. He is one of the most efficient midfielders we have ever seen. Unbelievable numbers. There's other guys I will pick when I say I need to desperately win this one-off game. Because this thing of the anxiety attacks and the hamstring, everything. No, sir. No, sir.
Please, I've got a question. He turned up, I don't want to say all, in most big games this season. One big game, got injured. Like, it's not like he's been hiding all season in the big games. He's literally been
Look, that's the thing. I'm not saying that he hides in general. I'm just saying what I wanted from him, what I've wanted from him for a long time, is that kind of defining moment. The
Yeah, he had
moment that I remember more than anything else. And he doesn't have a moment. He has multiple unbelievable campaigns because he's an incredibly consistent performer. But when you look at how good the City team is, as Bones has picked out, it's not about the individuals. I don't think that City couldn't replace De Bruyne. They can. They've done seasons without him. They have won what they have won without him. They did it.
Oh, so
And
back to
and,
that.
and like the idea of him being this like unbelievable player, it's because he's part of a super team. Like he looks better because as good as he is, he plays under the best coach in the very best system tailored to him.
And that's very, very. It's very short. It's not even a good way of thinking because at Wolfsburg, what happened? He turned up, bro.
No,
Now,
I'm not saying he's not good. I'm saying that there's nothing that he's done that makes it make sense to me for us to put him above everyone that they constantly put him above because of the numbers. Because that doesn't tell the whole story. He fundamentally is not irreplaceable in this unbelievable City side. And a lot of what he gets praised for is for being in this unbelievable side that won everything and dominated the Premier League in a way other Oaks didn't. And it's because he was in the team where he wasn't necessarily irreplaceable. Every other Oak that has done similar things to what De Bruyne has done did not have a peer in their team that could replicate what they did. He's not this like unbelievable. He's a phenomenal footballer. I like what De Bruyne has done. He scored incredible goals. We will talk about what he did against Madrid. He scored the equalizer for a very long time. That's that kind of stuff. When he scored that goal, clutch. If he don't score in that game, I don't know if they go into the game with Etihad with the same amount of confidence that you know what we're going in level, like we're good to go. Those kinds of goals matter. What De Bruyne has done matters. I just think it's important that we contextualize it and allow it to be said that he's really good, but like he's just really good in his era. To compare him to other Oaks and say no, definitely he's better than this guy. Why?
an interesting take, mate.
Why is he immediately so much better than the other guy from the other era who didn't have the same tools De Bruyne has to work
Bro,
with?
generational. You're not gonna find another Haaland. I mean, not another De Bruyne very soon, bro.
No, look, like I said, for his era, all I want is that he is just put and praised in his era. Let's not say he's better than the guy from 10 years before, because what he worked with wasn't the same. He was placed in a more favorable environment. That's what I want for De Bruyne. That's all I want.
Fair
Let's
enough.
just be honest. Let's not hyperbolize him too much. Let's love him. Let's love him because we will be very sad when De Bruyne retires. We will, all of us. But there's an argument for other Oaks as well. We can't just mythologize and say because he's playing right now, he's better than this guy who isn't playing now. That's not fucking fair. Because there's very few midfielders that ever got to play in a setup like De Bruyne's, where he doesn't even have that much build-up responsibility. Like he's just a free creator. That's a gift. It's a gift for a lot of midfielders. He has been blessed. He's been blessed to play in the side he's played for in this City side in this time. That's a fact. No? Or my whiling. Someone tell me. Tobi, I know where you stand. Tabani?
Look, you've put a very, very strong case forward. Like, I think the argument, look, you guys know very well that I'm very strict about comparisons when it comes to position. Like, I will be the first person to say they're not the same type of player. I don't like the certain midfielders that De Bruyne is compared to. And I think that's the problem, is that he's actually compared to a lot of guys that he shouldn't be compared to in the first place, which sets him up for failure, because then you get the argument that, like, no, he's not better than those people because of X, Y, Z. And it almost seems like you're diminishing what he's really, really good at, which you put very well. Like, his job is to create. He's not involved in the build-up. He's not like really there for ball retention. And like I don't want to call him niche, but the number of profiles and players that you can like accurately compare him to, that list isn't as long as to just lump him in with midfielders. So when you hear the comparisons to very great players, it does do him a bit of an injustice, where you're like, I can't say he's better than this guy and this guy. And then you end up getting 10 midfielders who are genuinely better footballers than him. And it seems like you're yapping him, but you're not. So I think if you can find a slot to compare him to other people, he'll probably top that tree. But people as soon as you throw him in the greatest midfielder conversation, you're kind of setting him up to fail.
Yeah.
And that's from someone who loves him as well, like who praises him. I love everything he does. Like, I do agree with Tobi that he is, you know, generational, I guess. But yeah, I can't do the greatest Premier League midfielder of all time. I can't do all-time great midfielder because he's just a bit too unique in his own regard to even be compared to those guys.
Yep.
No, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, the one last thing we must discuss, because we'd be foolish not to talk about it. Lautaro Martinez and Romelu Lukaku. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever been as annoyed at a footballer that doesn't represent my team as I was with Lautaro Martinez. That's the one thing I haven't healed from. Arsenal let me down. There's lots of other things that happen in this life. Lautaro Martinez, you have blood on your hands, sir. You have blood on your hands. Pep knew it. Pep sunk to his knees. You had Pep on his knees praying to whatever deity he believes in to say, please, not like this, not again. And you gave him a get out of jail free card. I think that City going to score maybe 10 minutes later, if it's even 10 minutes. It left a taste in my mouth so bitter that I am actually done with footy. Like, I'm glad the season's over. Like, after seeing that, I don't need 11 random strangers pissing me off. I need to focus on like my real life, not the TV screen. Tab, please tell us, how did you feel having watched that about Inter's two frontmen?
Okay, I'll start with Lautaro. He's just not that guy, is he? Like, I've never been Team Lautaro, and I know there's someone here who's very Team Lautaro here, but I've never. Maybe it's because I don't resonate with his profile, or he's never had my buy-in. So to do that, like, I just get the sense that this is just not for you, man. Like, you're a very good footballer, but even when you think back to the World Cup about how he got dusted at like, he's just not. I don't ever want to have my team rely on him. That I'm comforted. Like, there's other oaks I'd rather count on to give me something. And as for his strike partner, I think I was more disappointed in him because, like, you had the whole season to miss the way you missed. Like, you could have done that in September, January. He did it at the World Cup. You're supposed to get rid of it. It was supposed to be out of his system. Like, that, you can't do that. You cannot do that in a Champions League final. Like, after all the hype as well. Like, how fitting would it have been for Lukaku to score in that final after, like, the discourse of the past week and a half? But, like, if you're going to miss that in the Champions League final again, like, so what else are you capable of? Like, how many other ways can you let people who are counting on you down? Because you've done it before. So as for both of them, like, it's enough now. They should just actually find a way to keep playing with each other and just let Inter down continuously and leave everyone else out of it, because it's enough now. It's enough.
Wow. No, I think, like, remember I said on the group, like, do you not think it's just a thing of also just extremely, extremely bad luck? Like, some people are just unlucky, Oaks. Like, because I just feel like on any other day that, like, you just know Lukaku will hit that in bottom. Like, okay, in terms of his form that he's been on.
You say any other day. He's missed on bigger days.
Well, I mean, okay, sorry, I meant that's why I corrected myself and said on this run he's been on, because I think this form that he's on, people actually said he should have started this game, and I think obviously the way Inzaghi set up was actually well, and that he came on, people were gassed. They were like, okay, this guy might, like, I was in a bar with him. People started shouting and clapping when this guy was coming on. So, like, everything had changed. Like, I was like Tabani was saying, like, if there was one game he needed to turn up, this was the game. So I just think, yes, I don't know how much he can let people down, but at some point, I just think he is very, very unlucky. But that's just just my way of thinking of it. Maybe he's just ass, but I don't know, man. I feel bad for him. I just feel bad for him. I just feel.
I sympathize with Romelu. What like the way he pissed me off as well. But dog, it does feel it. If it's gonna happen to any footballer, that kind of miss, it would be him now.
I just don't know why. Like, why? Tabani, that picture I posted on the group about that guy, that Premier League panel guy that said, like, heritage or whatever. People just can't deal
Yeah.
with it. So why did you not agree with that?
I think because what was the examples he gave? He gave Kane and Lukaku, right?
Yeah, he said basically the idea was that Kane and Lukaku, in terms of football heritage, when the moments are big, they're just unable to deal with that type of pressure. They can't cope. And it's a thing of where it's like, it's an inner it's like an infliction inner within them that they just can't deal with this. So then they just crumble. That's basically what he was trying to say.
So I disagreed with that because it's a bit too hindsight is 2020, right? It's very easy to pick on a moment where someone didn't deliver. And I assume he was referring to Lukaku's miss in the Champions League final and Kane's penalty miss in the World Cup. It's too easy to now look at those two moments and say, oh, football heritage, they never had it in them. But I guarantee you, if you give them both if more chances, like they will come good. So it's not, and every great player has had a stinker or a bad miss or a poor performance on the biggest stage. It's just that the very great ones have more and more chances, right? That's why you can lose two finals. Ronaldo's he's lost the Champions League final and won all the others or something like that. Messi's had stinkers all over the show, but he's won enough things for us to forget about them. It's got nothing to do with heritage. At the end of the day, like great players will always come good given enough chances. Like you still want in the next Champions League final for that chance to fall to Lukaku if you're an Inter fan. You still want Kane to take the deciding penalty in the next England quarterfinal. Like that has got nothing to do with football heritage because like Lukaku, like you said, had been on a good run up until the final. He's not a bad player. Kane scored a penalty in that game. Like he was always going to be the guy to do that. So to turn around and say, oh, these players, football heritage, even Man City, they only won this Champions League final because of all the other like near misses. They lost the final 2 seasons ago. They've had so many near misses. Like eventually these things come, and it's not always football heritage. You can't get over the hump. That's why I didn't really feel that tweet.
It's a good life lesson, man. Keep pushing. Your time will come. You're gonna blow, man. Keep pushing.
Ten Hag, let's go.
This guy said eras come to an end. They went to treble the next season, bro.
Let's move on then. We've seen Sevilla win the Europa League again against Mourinho. Tab,
like I said,
on a public platform, I'm here to say you were right. My bad. I didn't know. Yeah.
Thank you.
I hope you're happy.
Thank you.
I think it's very fucked up that they lost on penalties. I think it annoys me immeasurably that Montiel got to retake that pen, but it's fine. Rules are rules. You're right. Here's your dub. Here are your dabs.
Can you tell us what Tabani said, please, so the viewers can understand?
Basically, it's been a 2-year-long argument about how valid Mourinho's successes have been since he got into Roma. And the bet we made was that he would, I believed Mourinho would take Roma back to Champions League football in 2 years. And he hasn't. So I was wrong, ultimately.
Oh, you were close, though. Congrats.
Nah, there's no such thing as close. You're either wrong or you're
wrong.
right, brother. You're either right or you're wrong.
Yeah, you're a lot of times this season. Number 14 on the way. Havertz. Yay. Damn.
Hey, man, Havertz linked to Madrid. That's what I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
Nah, but shout out to Sevilla, though. Fucking hell, man. That's what you call.
So can I just say?
Yeah.
So can I just say thank God United got knocked out of the Europa League, man.
Why?
Because we did not have the squad to do Europa last stretch of the Prem and FA Cup, man. We just didn't. Like something had to fall.
And you were going to lose to Mourinho. The football 100%. Were going to smile upon him.
I don't think Juve were going to clap us. I think there was just too much happening. Like something had to. I'm glad it's the FA Cup is not the straw that broke the camel's back, but that had to be the one to go, because we can do without the Europa. We had to get back in the Champions League. I think a Europa League run and finishing fifth in the Premier League would have meant nothing. So yeah, that's just my side piece. Shout out Sevilla as well.
So Tab, you say you don't believe in heritage when it comes to football specifically. Surely it must translate to clubs. Sevilla always win the Europa League. Like their favorites, even though they were 12th. They finished 12th this season. They shouldn't have beaten Roma, but they did.
You and I both said we saw in the group week after week after they beat United. Did you all the stuff that was happening to them? Like 100%. Like the stars can align for you, but again, if Sevilla hadn't won the final, there was not going to be a case of football heritage is done. You know what I'm saying. So it's very easy for us to sit here now that they've won another final. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because Mourinho could have won, and it would have been Mourinho heritage doesn't lose finals. So there's always a level of nuance, and I think. But I do agree that there's football heritage translates more to clubs and the belief and how things work, because as soon as United were out and Sevilla went through, I had Sevilla to win the tournament. I'm pretty sure I said that on the pod. I hope I did, but I definitely thought Sevilla were winning it because that's their tournament, right? So I definitely believe that. But for us to sit here and say, this player can't handle it, football heritage, that's where it gets a bit shaky for me.
Yeah, fair enough.
And lastly, West Ham and David Moyes, their first trophy in a very, very long time. I think, for me, that felt like the feel-good story of the past few weeks. That's the one win where I looked and I was genuinely happy to see it. Like a proper last-minute winner, a nail-biting final. Lovely stuff. How did you feel about it, Bones, seeing Declan Rice lift the trophy?
I mean, shout out to that guy that let Bowen score. I don't know, man. I'm chopping that man's legs so fucked up. Like, I'm injuring that man. There's no way I'm letting him on goal like that, bro.
Bro, he's gassed though, mate. I'm telling you.
No, dude. As soon as he sees him away, like that was the chance. Like, you don't even have to make it a clean tackle, bro. Rugby tackle the oak, bro. Like, it's the final. It's the finals, the last minute.
Yeah.
Like, it's you. You're the only one who can actually stop a shot coming into the goal. You're the only guy. I'm fouling that guy, bro. I remember playing St. David's and I let that shit happen. I let that guy go and St. David scored, bro. St. David scored and we lost the game. It was like an under 14 and I'm still traumatized. Like he should have fouled. But like
In his defense, that's like from sitting on the couch, it's a very easy thing to say. In his defense, I will say that's a very high IQ play there, because you have to do the entire calculation in a fraction of a second. Like, you know that if you foul him, you're gone. But at the same time, you can see your keeper rushing out. So your instinct is to do what you always do, which is to try and put the defender off, because that's what you do in every other game this season, right? That red card is not worth it in any other game this season. So I think it's only like the most elite thinkers who will actually make that decision. As many times, like, you can put a lot of other players in that situation, and they also wouldn't have fouled, because it's something that will happen to you once in your career. And unless you are, like I say, an elite, like, not just your mentality, but like an elite, like, football decision maker at that point in time. And I think remember the one with Valverde, the most famous one, where he took out the Atleti player. Like, that's Valverde showing that, like, I know what's on the line here. I'm willing to make this decision. And he made that decision in a split second. And I don't think, what percentage of footballers do you think are actually making that decision? Like, give me a percentage.
Yeah, okay, fair. And also, to be fair, he also said that he heard Ramos shouting in the back to clip that nigga. So
I believe more than anything else that is a lie, that quote. I really do. I have never seen Ramos confirm it. I see only troll football and the likes bring me back up and very Madrid's accounts. So no, I am disqualifying that until we find the source.
But yeah, it would probably be a small percentage, probably.
And also Bones, but like, I also think maybe if it was an extra time, maybe he would have done that. You know, I think the fact that it was they were still going to go to extra time with 10 men. It was also going to be deep, don't you think?
10 men versus
Dude,
the
rather
final.
that than 1-0
There's 2
down.
minutes. The game's done.
Yeah, that's the equation, right? You foul him to go to extra time, because if you don't, you lose the game.
Yeah,
You can't not foul him and then hope for a save.
So yeah, there's two. Yeah, it's difficult in those decisions. Tabani's right.
But I was happy for West Ham. I agree with you. Yeah, shout out to them. It's good. I think it was Tobi who said that, like, the Conference League has been a good addition. You know, it's good for clubs in their leagues to get a European experience. Like, why shouldn't they get the chance to travel Europe and compete for a European trophy and have European nights? And what is the first trophy in 40-something years for West Ham? Like, we need more of that. Like, give Oaks a chance to compete. Not every day Champions League, Madrid, Bayern City. Like, it's good that Oaks can have a run. And silverware matters. We're in the trophy era. Trophies are everything, apparently. So I guess give Oaks more chances.
Yep.
No, I hear that. I hear that. Toby, you've been slandering David Moyes all season long. Do you have any words of retraction? He's won a trophy. West Ham started the season in the Conference League. Next season in Europa League. They're on the up,
No,
actually.
there's nothing. I'm not gonna say anything because, and I'll be very, very well. I wouldn't be surprised because it will just show the lack of ambition from the West Ham board if they keep him. But if he stays in next season with this type of squad and they want to play that disgusting football, I'll be very, very shocked, man. It's just like, what's the point? You can. There's so many, like this David Moyes. I know you're never gonna listen to this. You've got your trophy, man.
He might.
Time to leave. Just like, bro, there's no better way to leave now. Like, you finished what 14th or something. You weren't really in a relegation scrap, but you were asked the whole season. You won a European trophy for your club. Like, this was the perfect time to leave. But still, if he comes next season, nothing's gonna change. He's not gonna suddenly know how to play good football with these players. So that's just my way of thinking about it. So, but yeah, shout out Paqueta, man. I'm gonna learn you down soon, boy. But other than
How much of your hate for Moyes is because of what he did at United? Because that feels personal, honestly.
it's not that my hate for him is not from United. United does a lot of things. Like, first of all, he wasn't obviously given a lot of time. Coming off Sir Alex was not the easiest thing to do. So, like, obviously, there's a lot of context behind what happened to him at United. It's just, I feel like the fact that earlier on in the season we saw that West Ham try to play nice football. They bought players that like should not be playing the type of football that they are playing. It's just like, can the board not see that it's just a waste of resources? They spend so much money, and like this guy, he's not going to be the coach to take you guys forward and play the type of football you want to play. So it's just, and I don't really care about West Ham, but it's just like, I guess more of the players like Benrahma, Lanzini, Fornells, Paqueta, these guys should be playing good football, but they're stuck with this Moyes guy. But anyways, it's not, I don't hate him, by the way. It's just, I feel like these players deserve more, innit?
No, that's fair. That's fair. Lads, it has been a great season. It's been a great season. We still owe our listeners one more episode. Hits and Business coming out soon. But
Yes.
before we get to that, any last thoughts? Bones? Any major reflections? Any last points you want to leave us with?
United are on the up. 2 more seasons. We're gonna be something.
We're because you lying. You lying.
No,
That's why
Yeah,
that
no,
happens to
boys.
you.
Yeah, boys. I'm not getting behind that, man. Sorry.
Do
Guys,
you want a second take or you standing by it?
I'm not
2025. We're gonna be up.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, Toby.
What? Last thing. I'll probably end on saying that Arsenal are not getting Declan Rice, man. But yeah, that's it.
Oh, so just a flat out baseless lie / guess. That's dope. Thank you, Toby. Tabani, anything?
I think the transfer market that we're about to go into will be hectic. I think there's rumors that we haven't even heard yet. I think the Saudi aspect will throw a lot of spanners in the works. There'll be a lot of shuffling, and each team is going to look different enough at the start of next season that we actually won't have a clue what's happening. And I think we should be very excited for that. There's no international tournament to distract us and hold off any deals. I think the minute the transfer, I think it officially opens soon. So yeah, let's just watch the space because it's going to be silly season.
Okay. No, thank you. My last point is that Arsenal finishing ahead of all of you guys. Oh, you guys all support the same team.
Yeah,
you guys again next season, and I will be there. For Arsenal back in the UCL.
Win a trophy, mates. Just give us something, some silver would be great.
Dog, we got you covered. Don't worry. But anyway, lads, thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening. We will be back again next week with our Hits and Misses episode. Thank you, guys.
Peace.
Shout out.